What made you walk through the door first time?
Probably the same as everybody else, getting older, trying to stay in better shape.
What's something you can do now that you couldn't do before?
Oh, that's a pretty sizable list. Push-ups, bench press, squats, any of those things. Really, I couldn't, or I would have had considerable difficulty in the past.
What has surprised you the most about working out here?
Probably the overall atmosphere of the place. Most gyms you go to are kind of lame, full of gym bros, and this is not that kind of place. It's more fun than any gym I've gone to.
What is your least favorite movement that still leaves you feeling accomplished?
Least favorite movement? Anything involving a kettlebell. Anything.
What advice would you have for someone who is nervous to start?
It's normal, and that's it's to be expected, especially with something new. Like anything that you're trying for the first time, you're going to be nervous. But once you get into it and realize that it is something you can do, and that it's not as daunting as it might seem, just give it a shot.
How does training fit into your life outside the gym?
I've noticed a lot more mobility issues. Prior to coming here, I had I'm not going to say issues, but I had a lot more stiffness, a lot more joint pain, a lot more if I squatted down to pick up something, it was a lot more of an effort to get back up, and that in every aspect has decreased. Everything from like I said, bringing in groceries to just doing things around the house. I can pop right back up a lot quicker than I ever could before. Instead of the grunt and the groan trying to get up.
If you could swap with the coaches for a day, what would you make us do for a workout?
I don't know. That's tough. Because it's not like there's no animosity, even though it's sometimes you're I don't want to do those, the 30-30s or whatever. But I don't know. That'd be a tough one. I'd be curious to see how much you could squat. I'd like to see that. But I don't know. I feel like Aaron would just crush anything he gave us.
Who plays better music, Josh or Aaron?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with you because you dabble in some classic rock, whereas Aaron's got way too much Weezer.
How do you stay motivated when you get busy?
That one's actually pretty easy because I've seen positive results. So when I think about sandbagging it, I'm you've stuck to it, you've seen results that you like, you want to keep going.
What would your past self be most proud of?
Consistency. That was always something I had a real big issue with. I was notorious for starting things and not finishing anything. And I think that would be probably the biggest one, is that I got into this for the reason of myself, my health, my well-being, and I've stuck to it. So I think past self would be pretty happy about that.